Dating apps suck. I'm just gonna come out and say it because I hate everything about dating apps. They are so fake, they are so fraudulent, and the way they make money sickens me. Nowadays, people spend so much time on their phones. The attention is behind the phones. So, where else to find a partner than online on our phones? But something that has really affected us negatively is dating apps. It has changed the way we see dating, and it has only been detrimental to our society. Remember when it used to be embarrassing or weird to meet people online and date people from online? Remember things like eHarmony and Match.com and all those things like Christian singles mingles meet for you, but all the little advertisements when we were younger. But now it's so naturalized with Tinders, the Bumbles, whatever it is, all these different platforms, they monetize off of our loneliness. Now imagine that. They are making money because you are lonely and want to find someone to give you attention. That's insane to me. And it's the attention economy. People make money their own way. Kudos to them. I don't care. Do your thing. But it's just so sad because this is something that's so emotional to us. It's real. It's our feelings. It's our partner, our spouse. And nowadays, they're just hookup apps. I remember people who download Tinders and the Bumbles just to find people to hook up with in college. I remember thinking in my head, who actually uses an app to talk to people? Because I never met someone through those apps and actually worked out. Every time you even tried using those apps, it would just be a stupid conversation, shallow conversations, and it wasn't real. If you found your spouse or husband or wife through Tinder or Bumble or any of these apps, congratulations, you're one of few. But 60% of people and more are actually meeting them online. And it's so baffling to me because it makes me think, why are we not finding people in real life? Is it that bad where we can't even meet people in real life anymore? Where everyone's just so isolated and living in this hyper individualistic society and where we can't find people? More and more people are not meeting people through their friends. But there has to be some sort of vetting process, friends, family, etc. Even as a Muslim, you use a vetting process, meeting her father, her mom, you meet people. You have to do it this way because, again, you know the families of people. Nowadays, because everyone is their own little family, everyone's their own little individualistic world, it becomes this weird society of where no one actually meets people through mutual friends anymore. And even if you were to try to, it becomes even more awkward. But why is that? Isn't that a good thing to actually meet someone through a mutual friend? Because, hey, they're actually really class act. Like, they're a dope person. Like, you should try to talk to them. You guys might hit it off. That's dope. But nowadays, it doesn't work that way. On dating apps, women are only swiping on the top 10 to 20% of men. Now, think about that. The top 10 to 20%. So 80% of women are only swiping on the 10s and 9s of the app. How is that fair to 8, 7, 6, whatever it is? And this is not about their personality. This is just merely on the way they look. So how shallow are people nowadays? That people only care about how someone looks, not their intellect, not their personality, not the way they sound, not anything deeper about them than just they look good. What? That's insane to me. There's so much more to people than just the way they look. Who someone is, their soul is way more important than how they look and appear. And again, we're living more and more of a materialistic world. So it makes sense as to why this is happening. But then we look at guys' statistics, because they're not getting swiped on by many people, they're swiped on 50 to 60% of the people on the app. Now, that makes no sense. You're sitting there watching a bunch of guys trying to talk to women, but they're competing with each other so harshly, and the women are only choosing between a high elite group number of men. And those high elite group number of men have their pick. They can talk to any girl they want. And hey, that's dope for them. But most of those guys aren't on there just to get a marriage. They're there just to talk to a bunch of girls. And girls are upset that, oh, these guys talk to so many girls. But the reason why they talk to so many girls is because so many girls are swiping on those same men that you also want. So understand that when supply and demand, the supply of these elite men are lower and lower. The years go on. All the women wanting it is just going higher and higher and higher. So again, we have this illusion that we have all the options in the world. We have this illusion that there's everyone out there in the world that now wants to date you. But again, that's not how life works. Life works out by actually meeting people genuinely, authentically, hearing people out, talking to them. And if you met someone online and you're trying to make it in real life, you still have to go through that phase. But how many times have you talked to someone online and it go nowhere? It happens more and more and more, but then all that rejection adds up and adds up and adds up. And then it in turn reduces and removes your confidence. It removes your confidence in meeting someone. It removes your confidence in being a partner to someone seriously. How many failed talking stages have you had? I guarantee you back then there was a lot less failed talking stages because things actually moved forward a lot faster. And there was a sense of, okay, cool, like we're this family, done, next. And that's how it worked. Marriages are falling apart. Things are falling apart. And it's this illusion of choice. We just think that, oh, like I see them, they're cute, I like them, they like me, but someone else might be out there for me. Now what? If you're gonna always live in that mentality of there's always might be something better, there's always gonna be something better, then you're never gonna love yours. You're never gonna love your own experiences. You're never gonna love the people that are already in your life. And people nowadays don't even want to work through those problems. And dating apps have been the biggest problem to this. It felt disingenuous. And then you have to buy for more swipes. You can only like 10 people a day or on these different apps. And you're basically saying you want to increase your chances at potentially finding someone, pay me money. And who would have thought that I have to pay to even find someone to then pay money on to even take them out? And then this giant hole of just nothingness. It's a cesspool of nothingness. And that is why I just vehemently disagree with everything about dating apps. People who used to marry their college sweethearts at like 10%. Now it's almost 0%. People don't have college sweethearts. They go to college to hook up with people and mess around. People don't go to college to find their sweetheart. Even in high school, people have high school sweethearts. People look at people like that and they're like, oh, wow, you have a high school sweetheart? That's crazy. Well, you never did this or never talked to this person or talked to 10 more people or slept with 10 more people. It's like, that's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that because it's only going to ruin your future relationships. Because again, statistics show that the more relationships you have in your life and the more sexual interactions you have, the worse off your future marriage is going to be. Just because the statistics. Hey, don't hate me, hate the game. It's the numbers that are showing us this. And it's a problem because people just don't value their bodies anymore. They don't value themselves anymore. They go on these soulless apps to try to find people, interact with them. But no, duh, you're not finding anyone. It's soulless. You're not actually going to find a real human being on there that you're going to interact with naturally. And even if you get past the talking stage, congratulations. The rates of that are so low for how many people have used these platforms. It's all about looks. It's not authentic. People aren't authentically being themselves on there. They're showing you their best face, but you never interact with them. You don't know their types of friends. You don't know the types of things they're really doing in life because all you're seeing is pictures of them. That cannot be a healthy way to find someone. Even when it comes down to catfishing and deception, someone can paint a picture of who they are and be someone completely different. And there's so much predators and predatory activities that happen on these platforms as well. And it's dangerous. It's all those choices. It's overwhelming. You think that you have all these choices, but you really don't. And then it in turn creates this hookup culture. And this hookup culture doesn't benefit everyone. It only benefits the most attractive men and most women. But that's up to women who want to do that hookup culture. And in turn, removes and destroys their future marriages and relationships. So then it's just like this toxic circle of just terrible situations. And I personally cannot stand it. And that's why I personally cannot stand dating apps. Again, God willing, I hope you guys all find future hubbies and wifey somewhere natural in a third space or a coffee shop or somewhere, the library. I don't know. Just think about it. Is that really how you want to be living life? Hookup culture and thinking that you have all the millions and millions of options that you realistically don't have? And hey, at the end of the day, all I can personally do and recommend to most people is constantly improve yourself, constantly do the things that you like doing. So for example, I want a girl who hikes. I keep hiking. Eventually, I'm gonna run into or find someone in the same circles that also likes to do that as well. Let God and the universe take charge of who you really are meant to be with. And I do believe in soulmates. I believe that we're all meant to have someone. To finding that someone, make sure you go out of your way to be the most authentic version of yourself so that person can find you. Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it. Everything about dating apps just frustrates me like no end. If you have found people on dating apps, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories, especially if they're like 6 stories. But let me know if anyone else sees this and sees the problem with what I'm talking about. There is a huge issue here, and there's this problem with dating nowadays, especially in our generation, but with dating apps in general, how toxic and unhealthy they really are for our mindset and our psyche. Thank you again for tuning in. I do really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments. I'll see you next time.